Here we go, guys. Set up. Welcome, welcome. So today we are going to be going through the front part of the business. So as I said, if you guys are just joining in, I had the opportunity, David has the opportunity to work with many different sales organizations and even more sales reps throughout the US. And there's one part of the book of business that we constantly see a low conversion rate in. And it's probably there's a very good reason for it, right? And that is ultimately when you do your initial activity, which is you guys reaching out, talking to somebody, and then getting to the point to where either A, you find the decision maker, right? Which is that's your conversation. And then going beyond that, how do you take that conversation and turn it into a meeting? And when you have that meeting, that's where this comes into play, right? Because if you're not talking to the right person, you're ultimately probably pitching a secretary or someone who has nothing to do with the roof. And what that ultimately means is that you guys are never going to get to that meeting if you don't have the right person. So this meeting is about that conversion. This meeting is about using your time as efficiently as possible. And I want to dive into your guys' book of business. I'm going to challenge you guys on exactly what you're doing. And this is going to go off the beaten path a little bit from what you expect within our series. So if you guys have joined us for the last, I think it's 9 weeks now, 9 or 10 weeks, you guys have learned about the 4D process. And you've learned about the 3 milestones, right? Milestone 1 is the problem big enough to act. That one is number 1 that you have to figure out because everybody has roof problems, guaranteed. The question is the roof problem bad enough to where they want to spend money to be able to fix it, right? That comes in number 1. Is the problem big enough to act? Number 2, do they need new or outside services? Which means, have they fixed it themselves? Why don't they just keep doing that? Are they using a contractor? Why don't they just keep using that contractor? What is forcing them to be able to find a new way of doing something? What's not working about what they have right now? And then number 3 is about positioning yourself as an absolute expert, which is, do you have the best solution? Do you have social proof? Do you have actual case studies that show you guys are able to solve this problem consistently and have the same end results? David said it best, or says it best, right, as he talks about courting versus dating. I'm not trying to get somebody to like me. What I'm trying to help them do is one of 3 things. And it's the 4 ways that I've talked about that you guys have to sell. Number 1 is a problem. Very straightforward. They have a problem and they don't know how to fix it. If they do know how to fix it, why are you there? Number 2, goal. They have a goal, but they don't know how to get there, which means there's a gap in between what they have right now, where they want to be, but they can't get there on their own. Again, if they could get there on their own, they could do it themselves. They could use their current roofer. Why are you there? And then number 3, which is, do you have the best solution, right? So, I'm sorry, I messed up. I don't know where I was going with that. Number 1, problem. Number 2, goal. Number 3, education. That's where I missed it, guys. So on the education side, that is, nope, we're fine. I don't have any issues. I'm completely good. Thank you for stopping by. That means the reality of your customer at that exact moment has nothing wrong. They don't need to go on the roof. I haven't been on the roof in a year. It doesn't leak. I don't need anything. And I'll tell you something, he's absolutely right. He has no reason to spend money. He has no reason to engage a roofer. And what you have to do at that point is educate him. Okay? You're not going to create a problem. You're not going to create a goal, but you can help him be more proactive, because when someone tells you, nope, we're fine, I don't have any leaks, I haven't been up there, I don't need a roof inspection, what he's ultimately telling you is that I'm going to wait for the roof to leak and then I'll worry about it, which is a reactive customer. A reactive customer will by far spend more than a proactive customer. Because if you guys are a part of service, you know, in order for a roof leak to happen, you guys have to start the truck up, drive out there, time material, time to get on site, time to diagnose and find the leak, right? Which is going in the building, going up on the roof, finding the exact pinpoint point of water entry, and then fixing it. That industry average is about $750 to $950 for that one leak. That's what your customer is telling you. When they say, we're fine, we don't have any issues, I don't need anything, no thank you, I don't need a roof inspection, I don't need anything like that. What he's telling you is that he's going to wait for the roof to leak. He's going to wait for the damage to happen within his building. He's going to wait for some type of disruption large enough to affect his business before he does something about it. That's a huge, huge part when it comes to education. When someone tells you, I don't need anything, I'm fine, I don't need a roof inspection, da 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 da. And what I'm going to help you guys with today is that talk track number one of how to be able to get to that decision maker so you can start the 4D process. And then the second thing I'm going to do is be able to help you with the talk track of being able to engage him and take that right off the bat, an activity to a conversation to a meeting that you can have all inside one. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So I know I started out and I said a lot here, David. I'll probably let you introduce yourself. Is there anything you want to say?
Hi, I'm David. Nice to
Yeah,
meet you all.
good,
Is that right?
good. Brains behind it. He'll stop me if I say anything dumb. So there we go.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. So just real quick here. So guys, we look at it. We want to make sure that you guys understand where we're focused here. Okay. So if I can I share? Do I have permission?
Allow it this time. I'll allow you to share this time. David's Zoom account doesn't allow us to share, but I'm much more open with the sharing abilities.
You see, there you go. All right. So here, I'll get this. All right. Can we see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So guys, when we talk about the sales magic trick, we're talking about this number right here. Okay. Number of leads or the number of drops that you guys are doing. This content is specifically going to be around how do we drive up the number of meetings we're able to set from the activity that we're generating. And those of you guys in our programs that are here, the perfect sales week, how we have that set up for you guys, all of that activity. When you're going out and driving on that activity, whether it be over the phone or on drops, but specifically on drops, because you know that's where we're really focused. This content here is going to drive this number and drive up your level of conversion. So as we're creating 2024 targets for you, you need to look at how you guys have been doing. And you guys know we do this work with you, but look at how you did in 23. But you need to calculate an improvement in this step, in this stage of your conversion rate for 2024 by using these strategies. It's not magically going to happen. There are actually no fairies that are out there magically sprinkling dust on our prospects, getting our conversion to improve. We have to improve, right? We have to be better. So I'll pop up some slides here as we continue to go through, but I just want to make sure you guys know in terms of the funnel and where we're focused and in the strategy that we're giving you here, the impact that it should have for your 24 plan. That's exactly where we're focused.
Cool. Can you pull that slide up again? Because I'd love to be able to use that and talk about it. So what we're going to be talking about today is you see 100 leads on there on the slide that he's going to pull up again, right? And then we see the number of meetings that we ran. But typically one of the lowest conversion rates that you guys will have within your book of business is the amount of activities you have in order to be able to get that first lead, right? That first interest, that first opportunity. And I try not to use the word opportunity more than once, right? But that first opportunity to be able to work with somebody. So here's what I want to start with. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about the reason that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first mindset that you guys have to understand because you're interrupting them inside their world. Most of the time, you're probably shaking hands with somebody that does not have clean hands. Let's put it that way, right? They just got out of working with a machine. They're just out inside the floor, wherever it is. Now, if you're in your property management realm, yes, it can be a different world. But typically, you're going to deal with people who are directly responsible for making those decisions. So when you walk in that front door, they don't care about you. They don't care about your company. So you have to be able to provide value to them and help you as an individual qualify or disqualify extremely quickly. So walking into the building, you have to know exactly who you're looking for. And there are a couple resources that can help you. Number one is probably the most obvious one is LinkedIn. If you have some type of targeted area that you're going after, some type of targeted list of customers that you're going after, I'm going to encourage you guys to try to find them on LinkedIn. I tell you that because LinkedIn is great for a few different reasons, but one of the primary ones is that it's a resume as long as your customer has one. Now, if you don't know how to search on LinkedIn, there's a boatload of videos that'll teach you how to do it. But what I want you guys to do is I want you to be able to find the company. I want you to find the individual, and I want you to view his profile. Okay. It's a huge part. I want you to actually go to his profile, because what happens is LinkedIn sends an email saying these people viewed your profile. Now, that is the first opportunity to exposing you, your education, who you are to that customer. If you've been inside marketing, it's called a touch. And a touch is anything that connects you and your customer to the solution or product that you have. Use LinkedIn to your benefit, because you can find out where he worked before. You can find out where he went to school. You can find out how many years he's been there. Has he had multiple positions within the company? You now have an entire background of who he is. Huge, huge plus. The other side is he can look at yours. So make sure that your LinkedIn is set up. Yeah, there you go. Make sure that your LinkedIn is set up, guys. That's a huge part of this, because just as much as you're looking at his resume to be able to get information, he's going to be looking at your resume to get information. When I say resume, I mean profile. That's the first step. Now, if you do want to add him, you can absolutely add him. Same thing is going to happen. He's going to get an email. It's going to notify him, hey, Chad Westbrook has added you, and it allows you to be able to get that interaction. Now, you can view the profile or you can add him to your network. Either way, he's going to get that same notification. That is strategic marketing right there. Because what's going to happen from that point is you guys are going to engage him. And the first world I'm going to talk about is actually engaging him in person. So I call this a drop. So a drop is ultimately an activity of where I'm stopping by a building to introduce myself. Okay. Now, I can go pick an industrial park and just go hit an industrial park. But typically what's going to happen when I do that is I'm going to find that COVID has completely destroyed the opportunity to do drops as we used to, let's just say 2019 or prior. And that's because a couple different things happen. Number one, people are not in the office. Why? Because they were forced out of the office and not everybody returned. That's number one. Number two, we now have walls and doors that are set up where walls and doors did not used to be. And as a sales rep, that makes it very hard for you to be able to walk into an office and say, yo, what's up? My name's Chad. How are you? Because now you have doors that you have to work through, bells that you have to ring, and you have more gatekeepers than you've ever had. So you guys have to be very specific when walking into those types of situations. So a drop, that's the first activity I'm going to talk about, is you guys stopping by a business and introducing yourself, walking into that business, not calling them from the parking lot, not pulling into the parking lot, not taking a business card from the front window. This is you walking up and talking to them. Now, when you talk to them, you need to be very direct. When I used to run call centers, there was 3 things that I taught my callers. Number one is voice tone. So voice tone is very, very, very important, because voice tone it'll give off confidence, insecurity, all kinds of different things. And the example I always use is simply my name. I can say the same exact thing, but how I say it, how confident I am and I say it, triggers 2 different responses. So if I was speaking to David and I said, hey, David, my name's Chad. That's one. And I can say, hey, David, my name's Chad. The way I said it, your voice naturally goes up at the end of a question. It also naturally goes up anytime you're unsure about something. I'm not really sure. And if you notice this when you're speaking, or you can notice this even more when other people are speaking, that confidence ends with a low tone. So when you're going in and you're speaking to somebody, you don't want to stumble over your words. And I'm going to give you guys a scenario inside your head that's going to help you guys hopefully be more confident and more direct. Now, depending on what your age is, you can pick and choose whoever the persona you're going to use at. I'm going to use my dad, okay? My dad owns the company, and I am going in to visit my dad. When I walk into that company, am I going to that my dad owns? Am I going to walk in and I'm like, hey, my name's Chad Westbrook. I'm here to see Ken Westbrook. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to walk in and be like, hey, what's up? Ken around? I'm going to have confidence and I'm going to assume, right, that I'm getting in that door. I've been in that door 100 times. I've spoke to this individual 100 times. And that's the confident level that you guys need to bring to the table. The other scenario I give you is you were just in that office. You walked out and you forgot something there. You forgot your cell phone in his office. That's the same way that you're going to walk back in and say, yeah, hey, is Jim around? Is Jim still around? I forgot my cell phone on his desk. Now you're not going to say that. But that's the mentality that you need to go. Walk in there, have confidence. Voice tone is a huge part of it. As we're going through this, we got opening question inside of the second thing that you guys have to know is that everything you say has to work for them. Nobody is going to do something for you. No one is going to say, hey, David, I really need to hit my numbers for this quarter. Can you please send that proposal over? Very, very rarely have I ever been in a situation where I had a relationship, A, that I can tell the client that, but B, he's going to spend money to be able to help me, let alone someone that I don't know, I have no relationship with. And I know that sounds crazy, like, guys, I don't do that. But if you make a phone call and just say, hey, David, I wanted to follow up on that proposal, what you're ultimately saying is, hey, David, I wanted to see if you would give me that proposal. Hey, David, I wanted to see if you can sign that proposal. And when I say always working for them, you have to, well, you'll learn about this today. You guys have to have a value piece that benefits the customer. When you walk in and you say, hey, my name's Chad Westbrook, I'm with ABC Roofing, and I wanted to see if anybody in maintenance is around. What you're saying is, hey, you don't know me, you don't know my company, I want something from you. That front office is there to stop you. That front office is there to be able to make sure that the right people get through and the other people wrong. I don't want to say wrong, right? But the people who need to get through, and the people who ultimately don't, do not. So if you want to be able to bridge that gap, if you want to be able to get past those secretaries and gatekeepers, it all starts with your voice tone, your confidence, and the exact words that you say. David, anything you want to add to this before we jump into the opening question side?
Yeah, I think just the key, like we always say, guys, is we want to practice before we go into the game. So before you're going to go out on your route and do this stuff, know what the question is that you want to ask and at least practice it. And then when you go out, ask the question that you practiced. If you guys make this a random riff session every time you walk in somewhere, it's not going to work out very well. You're going to have to do this exponentially more times to be able to get into a rhythm where you're going to be able to embody exactly what Chad is talking about here. Somebody with confidence, somebody that knows what they're asking, and someone that belongs there. All the call them non-words, call them filler words, what ums, ahs, kindas, sortas. All of this decreases your influence. And as your influence decreases within that conversation, the likelihood of them keeping you out and away from whoever it is that you're talking to increases. I'm not putting this person in front of whoever they're trying to talk to. So you guys just remember this. We're professionals, guys. Don't be doing this stuff on a whim. If you guys want to make serious money, if you are making serious money, you get in. If you want to make even more money, you guys got to practice this stuff. Don't just think it's gonna happen.
So a couple different fillers before we jump in there, because you make a really, really good point. When I'm practicing scripts, when I'm practicing different things that need to be said, I record myself and I use the iPhone to be able to do it. And the more times you say it is, the more confident and the more comfortable you get saying it. And what I'm going to teach you guys, it's not anything crazy that you need to memorize, write down, have in front of you, right? But it is something that you need to be extremely confident in saying, and you got to be inside the right headspace. If you remember a couple sessions back, we talked about headspace, right? Come in, understand what you guys are doing. You need to be confident in what you're saying. because that confidence is ultimately what's going to carry you through to, hey, David, my name is Chad, and I'm with ABC Roofing. And is there maybe anybody there in maintenance? I know that sounds crazy, guys, but I literally listen to that type of intro when I do my on-site training. Have confidence when you're going in. So, all right, mindset. We're putting ourselves back in that seat. We're doing our opening question. We're walking into that building, okay? And boom, I got a door. I'm not getting through. I ring the bell. Someone comes up there, and the first thing I'm saying when someone comes up there, maintenance, please. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Be direct, be confident, be short. The longer that you guys are, the more that you guys say, yeah, hey, my name's Chad Westbrook and I'm with ABC Roofing. Is there anybody in maintenance here? Proves to them that you have to justify who you are, who you're with, and why you're looking for someone. And that is the furthest from the case when you walk out of someone's office and you forget your cell phone there. You would never act like that. You would never come back in and just say, hey, my name's Chad Westbrook. I'm with ABC Roofing, and I wanted to speak to Mike because I just left my cell phone there. You wouldn't have to go through that, guys. Walk in, front door. As soon as they get there, maintenance, please. If they ask you, who is this? Tell them it's Chad. And why am I not saying it's Chad Westbrook? I'm with ABC Roofing. Because I've been there 100 times, guys. I've been in that office 100 times. I have the confidence behind this to be able to say, you should know me. This is Chad. This is where confidence and being short to the point is going to help you guys get better. So walk into the office. Maintenance, please. Who are you? Chad. Last name? Westbrook. That's it. I'm not telling them I'm with ABC Roofing. I'm not going through all of that stuff, guys. Again, I'm being direct. And I'm drawing this out because it's very, very important that you guys understand this. The more information that you share is the more that they understand as a secretary, as a gatekeeper, or whoever it is, the more that they understand that you've never been there before. Individuals who have been to that company 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 40 times, whatever it is, they're not introducing themselves like that. They're introducing themselves very short, direct, and quick because they've already been to the office many different times. I've already talked to this guy 5 different times. I'm just following up. I'm just checking in, whatever word we want to use, right? To be able to get to that point. Very quick, very direct. Maintenance, please. Yeah, who are you? Chad. Chad who? Westbrook. And who are you with? ABC. Notice my next piece there. I'm not saying roofing, guys. Almost all of us have a company name followed by roofing, okay? And I'm not telling you to not use information. I'm telling you guys to be direct and specific with how and what you are delivering. The more information you deliver is the more likely they're going to get there, especially if you go in that I'm here about roofing. They're instantly going to put that flag up. Do you have a meeting with him? Have you met with him before? Anything else like that? The shorter the information, the more confident that you can be, and the more level, right? The more level you can be with your tone, or ending with a low tone will give off confidence. And this is my challenge for you this week, guys. Record yourself. Listen to yourself, okay? And I say record yourself because there's many times when I'm speaking, and it could even be in this presentation right now. I want you guys to pay attention to my voice and how I speak because I could be doing it. But the most perfect presentation starts high, ends low. When it's a statement, it starts low, ends high when it's a question. Now, I know I haven't went through this with you guys. And if you've had any type of professional voice training, I would love for you guys to be able to put that inside the chat. But this is your first challenge inside here, is to start listening to voice tone, start listening to confidence or even statements, wherever it might be, TV, anything else like that. That is going to be a massive game changer to how you guys speak to customers. Okay, start high, end low, walk into the front door. I got a wall sitting there. I ring the bell. Maintenance, please. Yeah, can I ask who this is? Yeah, it's Chad. Chad who? Chad Westbrook. Right? Go inside there. All right. Now, if they ask you what's it in regards to, don't lie, guys. Don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. It will not get you anywhere. Okay. Now, If they stop you, so you have a good gatekeeper and they stop you, you cannot get past them, right? Nope, nobody's here. Maintenance isn't done here. I call someone else at the corporate office, da 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 da, wherever it is. Here's the one question I'm going to ask you guys to ask. If you had a roof leak, who would you call? And this is one. This is one to write down, guys. If you had a roof leak, who would you call? And I don't care who is at that window. You are asking that person. I don't care if it's the secretary. I don't care if she's a gatekeeper. I don't care what her position is or who came up to the door, wherever it is. If they had a roof leak, who would they call? Because what this is doing is this is getting you to the next step. Even though you can't get to that maintenance guy, you're still sitting inside that little front cubby, right? And you can't get anywhere. They're not letting you through. Ask the question. If there's a roof leak right there, who would you call? Oh, I'd call maintenance. I'd call my general manager. I'd call this. I'd call that. That is your next step. So just because you didn't get to that person, just because you didn't get past that gatekeeper doesn't mean that you can't ask a question that's going to get you further down the line to get into that right person. That's a huge part of doing drops, guys. If you're doing drops, do not avoid this question before you leave. You guys had a roof leak. Who would you call? And if they say, what do you mean? If you had a roof leak on your desk right there, who would you call? And when they give you that name, write that name down. Get a business card. Business card is huge because then you have the address, company, all that kind of different stuff. If you guys had a roof leak, who would you call? That's the one thing that you guys need to write down. That's the opening question. If they give you a name, go ahead. Yeah.
So, guys, as we go through this, we just had a really good question come through about whether or not we have a script on this that we can use, that you guys can use on hand or practice with. So the first thing is, guys, you cannot have a script printed out in your hand when you go do this. So we're trying to distill it down to its parts. If you guys are reading off a piece of paper, you're out of there. Like, you just read the script, look at them, take their nonverbal cues and walk out, because nobody wants to talk to you. So do not do that. Okay. What we need you guys to do is make sure that you're understanding that this is not a script, that this is a very specific strategy that we need you guys to memorize. Okay. So just write these two down. Okay. This isn't long enough to have to put onto a script. It's 2 questions. Okay. And I hear you, Z. I hear you. I'm not, I'm just taking your question because other people might be thinking the same thing, but you don't need a skeleton pitch, guys. You guys do. My point is do not rely on these pieces of paper. We're giving you the 2 questions and you need to memorize them. Write them down now and memorize them. And if you go through 10 drops, we're not worried about whether or not you can get through all 10 of them. What we're trying to do is, if you go do 10 drops and you're able to have 2 conversations, you're able to get past the gatekeeper and have 2 conversations, we want you to move that to 4. You don't need a list of all the objections that you're going to hear to get to 4. You just need to do what we're asking you to do to get to 4. Then we'll get it up to 5. Then we'll get it up to 6. Then we'll get it up to 7. But what we do too often, and this is what Chad and I have seen so often in this game, and guys, just realize, from a leadership perspective, both of us have been doing this for 15 years apiece. It's 30 years. I mean, we've just seen this overabundance of consuming this information. And then when you go into the situation, you can't memorize it all when you're having a conversation with a dynamic human being. So what do? You throw it out and you just go back and do whatever you were going to do before. That is why these scripts and these long documents don't work, and they're never, ever, 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 ever adopted. We're trying to distill it down to the 20% that's going to get you 80% of the results. Okay, so we can just go through it real quick just to make sure we're not, trying to paint beautiful pictures with our words. First thing is, be confident, but the opening line is just maintenance, please. Act like you've been there. And if they say, ask who, who wants to speak with them, just give your name. That simple. If you have a strict gatekeeper that doesn't want to let you through, then you move to the next question. If you had a roof leak, who would you call? And they will either identify themselves as that person and give you quality information, or you will then start down the path of getting the name of the person.
There's a couple of huge parts of this that I want to hit. Because you're right? You come in, maintenance, please. Something that you guys may not know. Nobody likes salesmen. Okay. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Nobody likes salesmen. No one wants to be sold to. No one wants to be pressured into something, right? Everything that we're doing within No Reps Left Behind is about becoming a trusted advisor, not being a salesman, not making someone buy something that they don't want, helping someone get to the end goal, right, of where they want to be. That's the whole point about this. So when you walk in and you say maintenance, please, you need to be someone that you would want to talk to. Because you don't know at this point right now, maintenance, please. And I can say this real world, some of the individuals who have been with me the last few weeks where I've been on site are here and they were with me on these. And you know what? The first response back I got was when I said this one time, oh, the owner's got a guy. Boom. That's why we're not giving you a skeleton script, guys. How do you respond to that? You have to have a personality. You have to have fun with it. You also have to make sure that you're not so strict and dry, because no one wants to deal with the sales rep, guys. My initial response to that is, as soon as they said it, I was instantly back to, I want to be the guy. How do I become that guy? And then she came back to me and she said, well, you got to talk to the owner for that. And I said, all right, does he have a business card? Like, how can I meet with him to become your guy? And we got a business card of the owner. I know the owner makes decisions. And I spoke to the secretary there. So there's not necessarily a skeleton script that you guys can use. I can tell you what needs to start with. You got to be direct. You have to be direct and short. That's the two things that I can tell you right off the bat. Maintenance, please. Yeah. Who is this? This is Chad. The more that you act like you've been there, the better it's going to be. You have to have a personality, guys. You have to have a personality, because you're dealing with somebody that literally deals with sales reps and people coming inside the building all day long. Have a personality, be likable, be someone that you want to speak with. When you go into it and you say, so next question inside there, opening line, maintenance, please. When you go to the next slide inside here and you get to a strict gatekeeper, understand that what I'm telling you guys is not to look at this as a failure. Just because the gatekeeper will not let you buy doesn't mean you give up, doesn't mean you go away, doesn't mean you say, I can't get by her, da, 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 da. Ask her a question that involves her. Ask her a question that involves, what would you do if there was a roof leak, right? Maybe they don't have maintenance. I've walked into many buildings where they looked at me like I'm crazy. Maintenance? We don't got maintenance here. What do you do? And I go right into my next question, which is, if you guys had a roof leak, if you had a roof leak that was right on your desk right here, who would you call? And she's like, oh, that'd be the owner, Bill. And depending on the business that you're going into, guys, it could be the owner, it could be maintenance, it could be anybody that has been assigned, right, taking care of situations like that. I went into a strip mall. The strip mall was all individually owned units, and they told me that the landscaper was in charge of all of the CAM money that they had. Now, if you're familiar with that side, it's common area maintenance, but it was the landscaping guy that took care of the roof. Don't ever assume who you're talking to does not have complete authority. Another big thing that you guys need to understand, at no point should anybody ever be disrespectful to the secretary, because they are the one person that can get you in and they can definitely kick you out. Do not ever downplay that position. There has been way too many times where I walk in and the owner is the one sitting in that front seat. The general manager is the one sitting there in that seat. Don't ever downplay that, guys. It's a huge part of this, right? They know what they're doing. They understand where it is. I was on a drop just last week. I went inside there. We went to the drop, and the guy was the owner. He literally walked back. He had the roof replaced 2 years ago. He walked back, grabbed the proposal itself, showed it to me, told me who the roofer was. And you know what I did? I asked him this exact question right here. You guys had a roof leak, who would you call? Walks over there, grabs the proposal, looks at it, tells me who it is. At that point, I knew I had the right person sitting there because I asked the question, if you guys had a roof leak, who would you call? This is the part you write down, guys. This is the one question inside there. Come in. Yeah, maintenance, please. Oh, yeah. Hold on one sec. No one's available right now. Okay, I got a question for you. If you guys had a roof leak, who would you call? Oh, that'd be Jim. Is he around? I don't care that you asked for maintenance. She told you what the next step was. If she gives you a name, if she gives you a department, she gives you any information, this is you guys not failing. This is super, super important. You are not failing at this point. Just because you're not getting to the right person doesn't mean you're not getting information that's going to get you closer to the individual that you need to speak to. That's why I'm telling you, get a business card. That's why I'm telling you, write the name down. If you can't get the business card of the exact individual, he doesn't have a business card, wherever it is, still get a business card. Because what you guys can do is a couple different things from this point. And I know I'm stepping beyond this, but this still goes in that conversion side. You did stop in that building. You did speak to the gatekeeper or secretary. You should remember her name, by the way. That's a huge, huge social proof point when going back in there. So when you call, you're no longer asking, hey, if you had a roof leak, who would you take care of? You're now asking for that direct person. She answers the phone. You say, yeah, Bill, please. Yeah, who is this? This is Chad. I was there earlier this week. You're not lying. If you can't get past that gatekeeper, it's not a bad thing. Keep that in mind and remember that, guys. Just because you're not getting past there does not mean that they are not going to give you information that's going to get you further. Okay. I had a question come in. All right. What if she says the name of another roofer and not an internal person at all? That is awesome. So I had that, and I'll use the real world scenario of what I had last week. And I love the questions coming in, guys. Keep the questions rolling in. So
Absolutely.
what if you have what if he whatever, right? Name another roofer. It's not an internal person at all. That's fine. We use Mike's Roofing. Okay, that's awesome. So if you guys had a project, here's another part, you guys can write this down. If you had a project where you had to get multiple bids, what would that process be? Okay. If you had a project where you had to get multiple bids, what would that process be? Because remember, you don't know if you're speaking to the person who makes the decision. You know, I've been a part of many great conversations, great telemarketing calls where the secretary is so good. I'm going a little bit off script here, guys, but I'm going to tell you that has been so good. They say, oh, we lease the building. Let me tell you, professional gatekeepers, secretaries, office managers, wherever it is, they know that is a way to get rid of you. That's a huge, huge part, guys. They know that is how they get rid of you. I have a rule on my side. Anytime that I'm working with sales development reps, I require 3 of those. Now you're probably like, you're crazy, right? I'm not. I want to be told 3 times. And I say that because I have literally went on meetings, and I'm sure everybody, if you've been inside sales long enough, that you guys have went on meetings where they say they have nothing else going on. They'd be happy to be able to shake your hand. Yeah, you can swing by. I'll meet with you. And then after you meet with them, all of a sudden they have a project that they want you to bid. That happened all the time, simply because they did not want to tell you about the issue on the phone. Do not ever assume, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Do not ever assume. Now I'm going to get back to the question that you had here. What happens if they say they're working with another roofer? That's absolutely fine. We're not looking to be able to replace your roofer. We're looking to be able to be a option. Okay. So question ahead. We have maintenance, please. If you had a roof leak, who would you call? If they say they're using another roofer, ask what they would do if they needed multiple bids. You're not trying to overpower them. You're not trying to tell them that you're better than their current roofer. It's not the goal right now. The goal is to be able to get to a part where you can have a real conversation. Part of the 4D process is to be able to uncover some of the pains that they have, right? Get to the point where you can have that open conversation. If you guys had, right? If you guys have a roofer What would you do if you needed multiple bids? I assume if you had a 10,000 big project, you guys would get multiple bids, right? How can I be a contractor of choice when an issue comes up? That's your end point to this, guys. If you have a meeting, okay? So I'm going through this. I'm taking you through this front side here. Hey, what's going on? Maintenance, please. This is Chad. Okay, cool. It's Dave. Hold on 1 second. All right, cool. Got through. Number 2, maintenance, please. Nobody's here. Can I ask who this is? This is Chad. Da 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 da. If you guys had a roof leak, who would you call? Oh, I would call Bill. All right, is Bill available? No, he's not. Can I get his information? Boom. That's number 2. Number 3, I walk in. Maintenance, please. Oh, he's not here. And you know what? We're fine. We work with ABC Roofing. Okay, if you guys had to get multiple bids, how would you go about that? What you're doing is engaging them, guys. What you're doing is taking the conversation down the line, and every question that you ask is getting you closer. Okay. Now, if you have that conversation, okay, and they are turning you down, what you need to ask is this last question. When you guys have an issue, what do I need to do to be a contractor of choice? And there was something that was taught to me a long time ago, guys, and I'm going to butcher it, and I apologize, but it was the M&M theory. If I was to ask, David, do you like M&Ms? The yes/no question, right? David can tell me no, and I can either change the subject and keep asking him questions, all that kind of different stuff. But if you want to control a conversation, is I say, David, do you like plain or peanut M&Ms better? Does that make sense? I'm not giving him a yes/no question. I'm giving him options. David, do you like plain or peanut M&Ms better? It's a real question.
Yep.
Peanut? Okay. So I asked that question to be able to control it. So what you guys can do is to say, if, or not if, but when you guys have a roof leak, what do I need to do to become the roofer of choice? I'm not asking for anything other than what steps do I need to be to become a roofer of choice. There is so much integrity in that. Okay. Huge part of it to be able to ask that question. And the huge part about it, after you ask this question, guys, quiet. Let them think, let them process, do not speak. What you're ultimately asking in a nice way is, how do I begin a relationship with you guys? They'll answer the question. This does not guarantee you success. The one that I went into where the owner was sitting at the front of the desk.
Let me say something on that real quick, Chad, because nothing is going to guarantee you guys success. The key is that this is going to guarantee you success with more. There's only so much resistance. So you're going to meet people that you're going to ask the question, they're just going to let you through. You're going to meet people that are going to stop you on the first one, and then the second one will get you through. Then you're going to meet people that the third one will finally open up the conversation. It's a band of resistance, guys, and their resistance will snap. Then you're going to have the 2 or 3 that just aren't going to let you through. Doesn't matter what you do, guys, and we don't care. We don't care. Those are irrelevant situations. Nail it with the people that would let you through, that would give up after the first 3 points that you push through resistance. Nail that. Then you're going to be a top performer. We can go talk about those advanced conversations on how you get the people that are absolutely so stubborn and they're fighting you tooth and nail to be able to get there. That's why we have the perfect sales week and making sure your numbers are hitting a certain quantity so that this conversion rate populates through. You don't need to get everybody. If you do need to get everybody, you're not generating enough activity. Okay. So now this does go into the next question. I just want to tee this question up real quick, Chad, before we move on. What do they do if it's just like, hey, yeah, we're going to give you, here's the number to the property owner of the strip mall.
So we're still asking those questions, right?
Yep.
So Dave, if you have a roof leak, who would you call?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not our building.
I know, I completely understand. But if you had a roof leak in your building, right, it was coming in right on your desk right now, who would you call?
Yeah, we call the property manager.
Okay, do you know who that is? Do you have a card or any information for him?
Yeah, sure. Bam.
Okay. Okay. Now I've distinguished a couple things, right? And if we do any type of role playing or something like that, game on. But I've distinguished that if they have a roof leak, they call the property manager. I distinguished that you guys do not own the unit, and I know what my next action is. It's okay. And when I say it doesn't guarantee success, so David, you hit it right inside of there. Guaranteed success means 100% every single time. There's nothing inside sales that is 100%. If it's 80, if it's 90, if it's 70, if it's 60, I mean, that's the whole point, right, of the post-mortem sheet, is to understand why our sales are dying. When we get into this stuff, there are questions that we can ask. There are things that we can do that will allow us to be able to gather information, to be able to have more success on a second attempt. And that's what I'm explaining to you guys. If you do a drop around a building, it is not a failure if you ask the right questions. You walk in, you speak to somebody, hey, maintenance, please, not around. If you had a roof leak on your desk right there, who would you call? And if they answer that question, guys, they're giving you that next step. That next step, okay, is he available? Is she available to be able to speak to? No, they're not. Gather that information, and that becomes your second contact. Now, you can make the choice of going back to that same building. You can make the choice of stopping by the other building that they're in. You can call them. You can find them on LinkedIn again. You can take, again, 100 different channels to be able to get to them. But the goal is that everything that you guys waste your time, energy, and money on, make it fruitful. Make it worth going in a second time. Because if you're going to spend the time stopping by the building, going in, talking to the secretary, ask the right questions. Ask the right questions. It's going to get you to the second step. If you guys are lucky enough, and lucky's not the right word, right? You walk in, it's an auto store, auto repair shop. You walk in, hey, is maintenance here? They look at you like it's crazy. And you say, hey, if you guys do have a roof leak, who do you call? It's like, it's Jim. He's out there. All right, Jim, he comes in. Okay, Jim comes in. Jim, what's up? My name's Chad. How you doing? What I want you guys to do is go directly into the questions, because the same thing applies when you get the meeting or you get talking to the person. This is the conversation piece. This is how you go from activity to conversation to meeting. As soon as you get the opportunity speaking to the right person and say this first question, this is what converts it into a meeting. David, I wanted to see if you guys had any problems going on with the roof or any goals coming up this year. I just entered discovery mode, guys. I just took it from my activity, walking inside the building, into a conversation. Okay, I'm talking to somebody there, into a meeting, because now I'm in discovery mode. I can skip all three of those. All three of those actions can be done at the same time if you guys are following this process. Activity drop, conversation with the right person, right? And then going straight into discovery mode, which is, David, you guys have any leaks going on or any goals with the building? No, I don't have anything going on. And that falls right into what we talk about with that first milestone, that first checkbox, right? There's 3 ways to sell: problem, goal, education. The last thing that I'll leave you guys with is the educational piece. And that sometimes is the hardest thing to be able to cultivate, because most people that you meet with don't have a problem or a goal. And I say that because their perception is reality. That roof is in bad shape. I tell you that because we all know even a roof that was installed yesterday is still going to have deficiencies on it. The question really is, are the deficiencies bad enough that they're going to spend money to do something about it? So when they tell you that they don't have any goals, no, I appreciate you stopping by, I don't have anything going on. You guys have to have some type of educational piece that's going to tell them, why do they need to do this? Why do they need to do something right now versus waiting for it to leak? And depending on where you are inside the US, that can greatly change, right? On the north side of the US, we can talk about snow, we can talk about storms, we can talk about preventative maintenance, we can talk about all kinds of different stuff like that, right? So the one that we had and that we continue to be able to beta test with up inside the north, right? So that's where we got snow. When I say north, is that when the snow falls, it becomes instantly harder for us to be able to diagnose leaks because we have stuff that's in our way. That stuff is snow, that stuff is ice. In order for us to be able to find those issues, we have to be able to move that, which is reasonably so more expensive. So typically what we do is we inspect the roof before the snow comes, which allows us to be able to better understand when you have roof leaks, what exactly is going on in that area. Now, depending on what you guys are doing, that inspection could be absolutely free, right? That could be stocking the shelves, putting stuff on it so the client has something to buy. But you guys need to find what your value piece is. And if you're part of Rainmaker, then we can definitely dive into it inside the one-on-ones, guys. But you have to figure out what your value piece is, where you are inside the US, and answer this question for yourselves. Why would someone want to proactively inspect their building rather waiting for it to leak and reactively responding? Why would someone want to do that? And the question or the answer to that has nothing to do with roofing, guys. Understand that. Has nothing to do with roofing. Why would someone want to proactively do that? Right? So the one example we got inside here, taking a look at the roof before bad weather comes will drastically reduce our cost to fix it. So what we typically do, okay, this is me using social proof. This is me positioning myself as an expert, saying, I know exactly how to reduce your costs on roofing. What we typically do in these types of situations is inspect the roof. That way, when or if you do have an issue this winter, we already know what's going on the roof system. We already know what it looks like without snow. We already know exactly how to diagnose and find the issue faster, which is going to save you guys money. Do you want to do that inspection now so we can have a better control if something does pop up this winter? Take this stuff, guys. Use this inside the field. A huge part of what we're doing is to be able to help you increase your sales. In order to be able to increase your sales, it means making small tweaks inside your funnel, and that starts all the way at the top. If you guys make 100 activities a week, 400 a month, or whatever the number is, David and I's goals is to be able to make sure those 100 are as impactful as possible and that you guys have the best possible conversion to talk to the right people and to be able to ask that question. You guys have, when I typically sit down with people, they have a problem or a goal. Which one is it for you? That's the start of the 4D process. That's the start of getting ourselves into a trusted advisor position so we can help that customer proactively manage their building. Very few customers want to manage their roof reactively. Very few customers want to deal with the disruption of what roof leaks do to a business. Help them get to where they want. That's what I can tell you guys. So I know there's some other questions that are rolling in here, guys. I'd be happy, or David as well, to be able to talk to you guys one-on-one. The one that I'll answer, I know we got a couple more minutes here. All right, so I'm just reading inside here. All right, so what if your roof is under warranty? I'll talk about this real quick, and this might go over, but the way I explain warranties is think about buying a TV at Best Buy. For the first 2 years of that roof warranty, okay, it is a installer's warranty, typically 2 years. It can change. It can be 1, it can be up to 5, so on and so on. I'm going to say 2 years. First 2 years is installer's warranty. That's the same as buying your TV at Best Buy and taking it back for the first 30 days. The first 30 days, if anything goes wrong, take it back to Best Buy. They'll give you a brand new one, right? When you install a roof system for those first 2 years, the installing contractor has to come back and fix it. A lot of variables, not talking about inside here. Now, after those 2 years are up, the next 10, 15, or 20 years typically is under the manufacturer. That same thing happens with a TV. After 30 days, what's Best Buy tell you to do? They tell you to call Sony, right? Sony calls someone to be able to come out, so on and so on. So with that being said, if you guys have a roof that is under warranty, the first question that you guys need to figure out, how old is the roof? It's fine that it's under warranty, but how old is it? Because typically if it's less than 2 years, it's under an installer's warranty. That is typically a no-fly zone. You cannot do work when another installer has that warranty. The second part where most of you guys are going to get is that it's over 2 years, which means it's in a manufacturer warranty. Now, this is a really, really unique spot to be in because almost every manufacturer minus one requires preventative maintenance. They require a qualified roofer to be able to go up on that roof, clean out drains, and do preventative maintenance to make sure that water is properly flowing off that roof. This is a huge, huge part, guys. In order for them to maintain that warranty, the manufacturer requires this. I'm going to encourage everybody here to be able to review the maintenance side of every major manufacturer, not even major, every manufacturer that you guys install. Read the maintenance side of those contracts that you guys are giving out. It'll tell you exactly what needs to happen. That is a massive, massive education piece that you guys can have. Just because your roof's under warranty doesn't mean you have a 20-year warranty. Just because Kia gives you a 100,000-mile warranty, if you don't change the oil, you don't have no 100,000-mile warranty. That's education, guys. I'm helping them understand what is the owner's requirement to be able to maintain, or to be able to maintain a 10, 15, or 20-year warranty. Your manufacturer will tell you, and you guys can then become an expert, right? You can position yourself as an expert inside managing that system, making sure that that warranty does not lapse, or they don't have any manufacturer issues down the road if they try to use some type of manufacturer work orders or anything else like that for leaks. That's a deep, deep hole that we can go down, guys, but there's a lot of value in that. So that was a great question. What if the roof is under warranty? That's fine. As long as it's not under installer's warranty, you guys can position yourself as an expert and you can say, oh, you have a Firestone or an Elevate 20-year TPO on there. Okay, are you guys getting that inspected every year? That's something that's required. And I'd be happy to be able to keep that up for you. Obviously, as long as you guys are Firestone or Elevate approved. So a lot deeper into the roofing side, guys. I hope this really, really helped you. Again, go in there, have confidence, be direct, be like you've been inside there. Maintenance, please. If you guys had a roof leak on your desk right there, who would you call? And then the final part to this is, what's it going to take? What's my first step to become a contractor of choice when you guys have a roof issue? What's that first step? Doesn't matter what it is. Use your time wisely, because if you're going in and you're doing drops, do everything you can to make that time valuable. Because if you walk out of there and you don't have a business card, you don't have a follow-up to it, you've done nothing but waste your time, energy, and money, guys. Use it to your best of your interest. Cool, guys. All right. Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. David, anything you want to add to this, sir? I know I spoke a bunch on this one.
Yeah, no, we're good.
All right, guys, go kill it. If you guys need anything additional from David or I, don't be afraid to reach out. And yeah, have a good week, guys. See ya.
Yes.